Today's review is going to be on B5 Horror on the Hill. This module was created in 1983 by Douglas Niles for the basic adventure set, or the BECMI adventure set. It contains, it pretty much is a generic adventure where a group of players randomly group together to fight monsters on a hill. They start off in a place called Guido's Fort, and the only place that's given any sort of description. An inn called the Lion's Den, where if they stay here, they have a 75% chance of catching fleas. Now, this doesn't actually have any effect in game, it's just a role-playing opportunity. It even says it inside the module in parentheses. Alright, little sidebar here. You should probably create more for this section, this Guido's Fort area, especially if you plan on having the PCs return here. The book does state that the fort has a trading post in it that is well stocked, but with items a little bit more expensive than they usually are. But it doesn't have anything further on it. Maybe create a fort leader, give an actual name to the innkeeper, or you could just entirely port the entire keep from the keep on the Borderlands to make things simple. As for story ideas, you could use in the module. The actual adventure booklet provides a series of rumors that you could use to give players. Looking at that series of rumors, you can actually create adventure ideas out of it. For example, one of the 8 rumors provided is that there's a huge orc army entrenched on the hill waiting for orders to begin a massive assault on Guido's Fort. You could have your PCs be a group of individuals that were hired by a merchant of some sort, or maybe a local lord, sent up to the outpost to try and stop this orc army from making this invasion. As they go out and adventure into the hills, they'll actually end up finding out that there is no orcs. It's actually an army of hobgoblins, which really aren't that organized. Another surprise for the adventure is that there is a dragon in it. Yes, the adventure designed for player characters of level 1, 2, or 3, there is a dragon involved in it. Now, it's not a very big dragon, it's a very small dragon, but still, the fact that there is a dragon in there that they may run into may cause some issues. Now, you can also make that a quest for the party members. Go into the hills, find the dragon, kill it. Outside of the outpost, there are a few location points. You have obviously the hill itself that contains the wear-ins of the hobgoblins, and the Hobgoblin King, who also resides in there. You have the cave of the Red Dragon. You also have a ruined monastery, which is filled with undead. Not that much, but it's still there. You can actually, if you want to build up on the ruined monastery itself and make it a focal point, you can. It sets pretty much the skeleton of creating an adventure there. It has a couple references to the statue of Moloch. But also, you guys may know it as the statue that shows up on the front of the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons book, the one where the adventurers are prying the gems out of the eye. That also makes a rival or show in this adventure. There's also a small hut with 2 old ladies in it. Now, I don't know how your players will deal with it, but when my players ran into that, they obviously went straight to the idea that they are hags and wanted nothing to do with them. Now, they're not really hags. It's a high-level cleric and a high-level wizard, which may have been the way they created hags back then in 1983. I think 1983? Yeah, 1983. And these old hags, or ladies, will help you out by providing you with some health potions, as long as you all are willing to give them any single item they choose after you complete the adventure. Now, your players are going to run into a variety of different monsters in this adventure. It's got killer bees inside of it, giant ants. My players absolutely hate giant ants. Hobgoblins, goblins, bugbears, ogres, giant bats. There's obviously got to be an owlbear. There's an owlbear in there. It has sturges. A variety of various giant animals. It's got Neanderthals that live up in the caves. Skeletons. berserkers who apparently forgot how to talk after being stuck in the tunnels for too long, kobolds, and finally the red dragon. It's a young red dragon, so not too horrible, but it's probably going to be pretty deadly for a group of levels 1 through 3 characters. It's at this point that the adventure actually ends. It tells you once you guys get back to the outpost, everybody will congratulate you on clearing out all the evil monsters out there, and then the old ladies will show up and take either the dragon or your most expensive magical item they can find. Alright, for how I rate this adventure, the adventure rating, I'm actually only going to give it maybe about a 3 out of 5. There's some issues with this adventure. The starting location is poorly mapped out, and this is almost like a poorer version of B2 Keep on the Borderlands without the keep. And the adventures are, instead of having like a single cave with all the different monsters in their own separate sections, it's just kind of like all across a mountain of some sort. I mean, it's not a bad adventure. It's still good. It's just it's about average, I would say. For value, you can get this thing for about $5, the PDF version on DriveThruRPG, or you can go on eBay and find print versions for around $25 to $35. This is at 2021 prices. It's currently March. Whatever it is in 2035, if someone's listening to this, sorry, it's probably not going to be correct information. So I'm going to rate this at about probably a 4 out of 5 for price. For deadliness factor, I'm going to say this one's a 4 out of 5. There are some pretty deadly encounters, just not just the dragon. There are some pretty deadly encounters where if players aren't smart, they can die. Which isn't that bad. I mean, it gives that thrill that every player should get, and lets them know that their characters can still die and their decisions do matter. Overall, altogether, I would probably rate this maybe a 3 out of 5. It's not that great. It's not horrible. It requires a lot of work from the Dungeon Master to make it a complete adventure. But it is workable. You could, if you push it through, maybe finish this adventure in maybe 6 to 8 hours. Or you could make this probably a good, at least 5 or 6 session side quest. I mean, for the price of an original being around $25, it's not a bad buy. And it's nice to have as a collector's piece. I recommend it. I mean, I have 2 copies of it. One just sits inside of one of those plastic like comic book holder things, and then the other one I have is like a copy to use. Well, I hope somebody found this useful, and I'll see you guys the next time.